Listen, I'm not going to read everything that happens in the chat. All right. But sometimes the shenanigans in the chat just blow me away. All right. Another channel regular. We got Hugh in there. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Man, it's a packed house already. It's a packed house already. So do get into the chat if you have brewing questions. I do have a lineup pre-prepared, but always looking for good questions coming live from the chat. So speaking of which, first question comes from Robert W. on LinkedIn. That's right, boy. I'm on LinkedIn. I spread the content indiscriminately. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my newly launched Friendster page. Robert W. on LinkedIn about the sterile loop. I did a video within the last month on the sterile hot water loop that we run at Sonder Brewing that we use to sterilize equipment. Cool setup. How often are you checking the water in that looped HLT? When he's talking about the HLT, we have two. One explicitly for the sterilization loop, and then just a standard HLT for brewing purposes. I'd imagine that it would pick up chemicals and debris after some use. So kind of nutshell, I did actually answer on that platform. And my typed out answer was a great question. With the SOPs that we have in place, which include a full water rinse of cleaned hoses, etc., then full rinses of implements to be sterilized, we don't really have that issue. That said, our sterilization water is tested weekly. So all of our hot side water and cold side water is tested weekly. Hopefully that answers your question. So what I mean to be saying is if we're worried about getting chemicals into that sterile loop, when we hook up to the sterile loop, it's just a process piping that runs through the brewery, and there'll be two valves that are pointing out to you so you can actually create your loop. So say you just want to sterilize a hose, so you can hook it from one to the other. But then actually also in the main line, there's another valve, a bypass valve that you can close, and it would force all of the water to just go through the hose and then back through the sterile loop. Okay. So before we actually take any of that water and run it back into the sterile line, we actually blow through that. Okay. So all of the hosings and all the rigs that we're going to be, or implements that we're going to be hooking up to the sterile loop will be rinsed appropriately, rinsed to pH neutral during the cleaning phase. And then during the sterilization phase, we run hot water all the way through that implement again until we're hot on the other side. Okay. Then we hook up and open up that loop, right? So it definitely does help to reduce that. It helps to have very, very tight cleaning SOPs up front, right? Which we do at Sonder. And that's really the nuts and bolts on it. But pH is tracked and a range of other things. I am not super trained up in the lab yet. That is something that Dylan does. Dylan is in charge of that, and he's a Steelers fan, so not related to anything, but Dylan out there right now somewhere is just dreaming of Jerome Bettis and Jerome Bettis, so, but yeah, he does all of our lab stuff. So I could actually get up to speed with him a little bit on all the stuff that's tested on that front. But yeah, weekly, D-Dog will run all of the checks on all that water. So hopefully that answers that question. And yeah, it's a pretty sweet system. If you haven't checked out that video, you should. What do we got going on here? All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're gonna maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.